name's Therese Creed. I grew up in Sydney in a family of 10. I am a teacher. I'm also an author. I left Sydney on my horse and rode from Melbourne to Cooktown over 2 years, and in that time learned what life was like outside of a big city and learned about the resilience of bush people and also the vitalness of bush people, and ended up marrying Cedric in Central Queensland. So now I help run our cattle property. The first thing we knew of the looming solar farm on our boundary was a letterbox drop in 2018 of a 9,000 acre solar farm, bigger than Norfolk Island and more than twice the size of Great Keppel Island. Coming from my background in Sydney as a teacher, where I'd always been led to believe that renewable energy was safe and green and the answer to our future, we were very, very unaware at that time of threats that were going to be attached to this huge development.
I'm fifth generation food producer. My biggest thing with it is they're putting these things on our A-grade food producing land. I mean, Queensland only has 2.5% of its land mass is A-grade food producing land, and they're chasing it because the soil's soft, and so they don't have to big effort to bang all their piles in to hang their solar panels on. The most important thing for us out of this is to get people to know that their food supply is getting shortened, and getting less and less. That's the biggest thing, and people think they can just keep going to Woolies and getting their food. Well, it's got to come from somewhere, and it comes from here.
If I could speak to a city audience, I would say I understand you, because if I still lived in Sydney, I would be you. I would be believing this is a good thing, that these solar and wind plants are being built somewhere. I'm telling you now from someone who's not in that setting anymore, that this is the very worst thing that has happened to our Australian landscape. And I think as city people, you deserve to be told what is happening to your A-grade food producing land. We've been asking ourselves for a long time why the government has taken this direction, the net zero target, because it's such a rush. They want softer soil, they want cleared land, they don't want any regulations because they have to rush this stuff through. So the soft soil's fantastic for hammering in 9 million posts. The cleared land, it's done for them. So I don't think a lot of it really comes down to the environment at all. In fact, I don't think any of it does. So it's for every reason other than the environment. It's for money, it's for votes, it's for the green drive, and this new religion that's sweeping the world of saving the environment, and we're poisoning the planet in order to save the environment.
Politicians today are putting more and more restrictions on us food producers, and that these renewable energy companies are exempt from the same things that we have to comply by. And if they had to follow the same rules, a lot of them won't even get started.
If they had the same constraints on them that are put on mines and put on farmers and put on everyone else on the land, these things would not be allowed. They would not meet any of the criteria. They would be abolished immediately. So I'm not asking for harder rules or worse rules or even for them to be banned. I'm asking for them to have the same rules to operate under as everybody else, environmental rules that are protecting our precious food producing land and our areas of high biodiversity, and they are exempt from these. No EIS, no reef regulations, no Vegetation Management Act. They are exempt from all of these.
The impact on us, we're just a small family operation, a wife and 5 kids. We've written 400 plus letters to all levels of government, and then we get some half-hearted bloody response from a bureaucrat or the government that just doesn't answer the question for a start. It makes your blood boil.
This is like a monster. It's like a David and Goliath battle. These things are so huge and so faceless, and not only do they treat us badly, we actually don't exist to them. We're nothing. We're worse than dirt on the ground. So we are irrelevant to these companies. So being treated that way about land that my husband's fifth generation on, and they've poured blood, sweat and tears into that area, protected it, left trees in certain places, looked after the pasture, rotated stock, to have a massive faceless company come in and just say, we're going to just wreck all that. The emotional effect of that, you just feel completely, bowled over. And at times we do get bowled over and we just feel crippled, and then we just say, no, get back up, we've just got to keep trying. If I was talking to a voter in Chris Bowen's electorate, I would plead with them to come out of the city and have a look at the results of Chris Bowen's policies on the towns, on the fertile food producing land, on the people, on the wildlife, on the limited, lush, biodiverse areas that we have, because he is the one that is pushing for this, that is rushing it through in a reckless way, that is waiving all the rules to allow this to be unrolled in a reckless and incredibly dangerous fashion that the future generations are going to be paying for pretty much forever.
Authorised by Sandra Burke, Advance Australia, Canberra.